evening to you. We are a little late today for our evening broadcast, but I hope you can still make it part of your happy family hour. And we want to look at today about the destiny of our children, because they are worried, troubled, they're getting digitized, much on the screen with the lessons, and even otherwise they are on the screen. So I trust you had a look at my little clip yesterday on how the dad can have fun and games and engage them and then encourage them and then do the course correction. Today we take hope for our children's destiny, not to be reduced in any way, not to be retarded in any way, that they will have the bread they need for their spirit, soul and body. So we are now looking at Genesis chapter 1 during this happy hour. This is the 8th in the series of talks. I'm Dr. Lalith Mendis, and if you want the previous ones, please send us a WhatsApp message to our WhatsApp number +94 77 49 59 214. If you need any other clips on COVID science and reason, please also send a WhatsApp asking for the specific subject that you would like to look into. So here we are at Genesis 1, 24. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures after their kind, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth after their kind." And it was so. God made the beasts of the earth after their kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creeps on the ground after its kind. And God saw that it was good. Now, we learned yesterday that the human genome was described by Sir Francis Collins and a team of scientists who were employed by the government of the USA, and they prayed every day, and as a result they got ahead in their research, whereas there was another private sector team well endowed and well equipped, but these scientists first got to the human genome and they mapped it. So now any error that goes on in the human genome and causes enzyme deficiency or any other disease, you can quickly get to know it. So genome is an amazing creation of God. It has the human genome, the DNA that stores the memory and all that. It would run into many terabytes if you were going to do that on a computer. So in Genesis 1:26, here we have the pivotal statement. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image." So it's clearly a different order of creation. The biological systems do appear similar, but in the image that man carries, he is not a beast. He is in the order of God. Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So what is the image of God? It is a distinct person who knows his personhood. 2, it is having the character ability of God to will and to decide, and to an intellect like God that can plan ahead and understand, analyze like God. All this went into let us make man in our image. It's the personhood of man that can fully understand the personhood of God. In fact, that it is only man who attempts to worship and knows reverence is the ontological argument that man's origin comes from God, because man searches after God. However others deny, man searches after God. And it is that everlasting quality of life that man knows God put into him that makes him try to secure life after death. Whether in his insight, he knows by a knowing that it is called the intuitive knowledge of God. He knows by a knowing that he will be forever and ever, and he is accountable to someone. All this is the image of God. He knows there's a long-term reward. It's not just eating and drinking. All this comes from the knowledge of God. So this is the image of God, the knowingness of God, that God can be known and man attempts to know God. Yes, he doesn't live for the day, and he keeps memory, and he has recall like God, and he thinks for the future, projects into the future like God. All those are part of the image of God. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. So it is when a male and a female get together in lifelong fidelity and marriage that the image of God gets complete. This is why marriage is only heterosexual marriage, and marriage is for lifelong fidelity, bringing out the image of God in nourishing and nurturing the citizens of the future who are your son and daughter in your house, which is your most brilliant career. So in marriage, God's nature, God's male nature and God's female nature comes together in marriage as one whole. So to define marriage in any other way, you are not just sinning against man, you are sinning against the nature of God, which is the uniqueness of man. So you deny marriage, you deny sexual, given sexual character, you defy and defile and you distort and you break up, rupture the very essence of manhood and womanhood as God gave it. So Professor Paul Matthews has written a long treatise that gay is choice and not genes. He was the Professor Emeritus, a very reputed professor of psychiatry from Johns Hopkins University. If you want to read more on this, you can please send me a message to my WhatsApp number +94 77 49 59 214. It's good to know that eminent scientists have said gay is choice, how you choose. It is not in your genes. Yes. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him, male and female. He created them. So together in that male and female created creation, that God puts himself together by putting it to two different complementary individuals, one the male, the other the female. God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. So here is the covenant. Bless them, meaning it came from God, and then be fruitful, multiply. That is, you multiply yourself in others, your progeny, and also other things in other people as senior and benefactor. Out of your beneficence in your work field, you will begin to multiply what God gives you in others. And then it says, fill the earth, your patch of earth. So we have a sense of this amount of earth influence. I am able. You have that in. So when you fill it and fulfill it, you become a satisfied man. So that is the good gift in you that has come to you from the Father of light. That is James chapter 1 verse 17. When that is not fulfilled, you will be a frustrated man, and you will all the time feel the gap between what it should have been and what it is. In that gap you have hurt, hate, horror, fear that it will never be the same. Then comes humiliation, and then hexes of repeating this bad cycle again and again. We don't want to go that way. Then God said, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the surface of all the earth, every tree which has fruit yielding seed, it shall be food for you. Every beast of the earth, to every bird of the sky, and to everything that moves on the earth which has life, I have given every green plant for food. And it was so. God saw all that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. So when he originally created, there was perfect harmony. It was the sixth day. Other days were good. This one was very good because what? The very image of God, he put it into the human family. So when mom and dad, when a man and a woman decide to get together, live for each other, that's the nature of God. Give themselves to each other. That's a sacrifice God put into our heart. That's altruism God put into our heart, which evolution does not know. Altruism cannot be explained from evolutionary theory or thesis, because altruism gives yourself to others. The selfish gene, if it was true, as described by some rationalists. If it was true, we will not know anything about altruism. We know that when we give ourselves to the other, we do best, and we keep continuity in giving ourselves to the others. And in the supreme example, God became incarnate in the Lord Jesus Christ. Once in human history, Creator God became human. This expectation was there in many, many cultures, and in our own culture, the ancient Sinhalese predicted that God may be having 1,000 eyes, that he may be having a seat of rock that gets warmed up when a human is in trouble. So what were people hypothesizing? There has to be someone 1,000 eyes. Why? Because he has to see everything and keep the balance, that man will not oppress man. So these were written into cultures because eternity was set in the heart of man. Unfortunately, they find different schemes, say Ecclesiastes 7:29. So I stop my reflection today. We might get on to a little more of what exactly does that image of God in us mean. What will it add up to? So thank you for joining. Please listen to this with your friends. These are 8th Talk, happy hour, and we will meet tomorrow also. Please spread this around, share with someone. Also get hold of my COVID clips and happy hour scientific clips, informative clips. Some are quite technical, most are quite easy. Any parent can read, listen to, and share with your friends, because in these days we really need to recover the destiny and full life for our children. We shall not be discouraged. Thank you for listening.